Usually, affirmations are just single lines you might hear in passing. However, in this video series, we will explain each affirmation in depth. We have curated a comprehensive series of 20 affirmations just for you, presented across 4 videos with 5 affirmations covered in each to ensure the experience is engaging and easy to understand. So, let's get started. The words that quietly shape your reality. Imagine waking up every morning and hearing the same voice tell you, "You're not good enough. You'll probably fail again. Nobody really believes in you." Now let me ask you something. If another person spoke to you like that every single day, would you keep them in your life? Probably not. But here's the uncomfortable truth. For most people, that voice doesn't belong to someone else. It belongs to their own mind. Psychologists estimate that thousands of thoughts pass through our minds every day. What's even more surprising is that many of those thoughts are repetitive. Your brain keeps replaying the same beliefs until they become your reality. Over time, those beliefs begin to influence your confidence, your decisions, your relationships, and even the opportunities you believe you deserve. Think about it for a moment. Every action begins with a thought. Every habit begins with a belief. And every belief begins with the words you repeatedly tell yourself. This is why affirmations are far more than positive sentences. They're not magic spells. They're not wishful thinking. They're intentional thoughts that challenge old mental patterns and gradually replace them with healthier ones. But here's something many people don't understand. Simply repeating affirmations without believing them won't change your life overnight. Real transformation happens when your words are followed by awareness, action, and consistency. Every time you repeat a positive belief and act in alignment with it, you're teaching your brain a new way to see yourself. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity, your brain's incredible ability to form new neural pathways based on repeated experiences. In simple words, the more often you think something, the stronger that mental pathway becomes. That's why negative self-talk feels so automatic. You've practiced it for years. Today, we're going to practice something different. These are not just affirmations. These are 20 powerful reminders that can slowly reshape the way you think, feel, and live. So take a deep breath. Open your mind, and let's begin. 1. Asking for help is a sign of self-respect and self-awareness. Have you ever struggled with something for weeks, simply because you were too afraid to ask for help? Many of us grow up believing that asking for help makes us look weak. We think successful people have all the answers. But the truth is exactly the opposite. The smartest people in the world ask questions. The strongest leaders seek advice. The greatest athletes have coaches. The most successful entrepreneurs surround themselves with mentors. Why? Because they understand one important truth. Growth happens faster when we stop pretending we know everything. Think about a mountain climber. Would you call them weak for using ropes and safety equipment? Of course not. Those tools help them reach heights they could never achieve alone. People are no different. Sometimes your greatest strength is recognizing that someone else can guide you through a challenge you've never faced before. Asking for help isn't admitting defeat. It's choosing progress over pride. So every time your ego whispers, "Handle it alone," replace it with this affirmation. Asking for help is a sign of self-respect and self-awareness. Because respecting yourself means giving yourself every opportunity to grow. 2. Changing my mind is a strength, not a weakness. Have you ever refused to admit you were wrong, even after realizing the truth? Most people have. Not because they're bad people, but because the human ego loves certainty. Our brains become attached to opinions because they make us feel safe. Changing those opinions can feel uncomfortable. But think about this. If a scientist refused to change their conclusions after discovering new evidence, would we call them intelligent? No, we'd call them closed-minded. Growth requires flexibility. Imagine carrying a map that leads to the wrong destination. Would you continue following it simply because you've already walked halfway? Or would you choose a better route? Life works the same way. Changing your perspective doesn't erase your past. It proves you've learned something new. Every time you change your mind based on wisdom instead of ego, you become a better version of yourself. Remember, Only people who keep learning keep growing. So say it with confidence. Changing my mind is a strength, not a weakness. Because wisdom isn't about always being right. It's about being willing to become wiser. 3. Every decision I make is supported by my experience. One of the biggest reasons people overthink is this. They're terrified of making the wrong decision. What if I fail? What if I regret it? What if everyone judges me? But here's something your anxiety rarely tells you. Every decision you make is based on everything you've learned up until this moment. Every success, every mistake, every heartbreak, every lesson, every conversation, every challenge. Nothing you've experienced has been wasted. It's all part of the person making today's decisions. Think about a tree. When you look at it, you only see what's above the ground. But its real strength lies beneath the surface. Its roots. Your experiences are your roots. People may not see them, but they're quietly supporting every decision you make. Will you always choose perfectly? No, nobody does. But every decision, even the wrong ones, teaches your brain something valuable. Failure isn't evidence that you're incapable. It's evidence that you're learning. So instead of doubting yourself, remind yourself, every decision I make is supported by my whole and inarguable experience. Trust doesn't come from knowing the future. It comes from respecting the person you've become. 4. I encourage others because I encourage myself. Have you noticed something interesting? People who constantly criticize others are often fighting battles inside themselves. And people who genuinely celebrate other people's success usually carry peace within. Why? Because the way we treat others often reflects the way we treat ourselves. Imagine two mirrors facing each other. The image continues forever. Kindness works the same way. The kindness you give returns to you. The encouragement you offer strengthens your own mindset. When you sincerely tell someone, "I believe in you," your own brain hears those words too. Research in psychology shows that practicing compassion increases positive emotions and strengthens social connections. It doesn't just help the other person, it changes you. That's why emotionally healthy people don't compete with everyone. They inspire. They support. They celebrate. Because they know another person's success doesn't reduce their own. There's enough room for everyone to grow. Today's affirmation reminds us of something powerful. I affirm and encourage others as I do myself. Because lifting others doesn't make you smaller. It makes the world around you stronger. 5. I alone hold the truth of who I am. Perhaps the greatest mistake people make is allowing strangers to define their worth. One negative comment, one rejection, one failure, and suddenly they begin questioning everything about themselves. But think about this. Can someone truly understand your entire life from one conversation? Can they see your struggles? Your sacrifices? Your dreams? Your silent victories? Of course not. People only see small chapters of your story. Yet many of us hand them the power to write the ending. Don't let opinions become your identity. Your value doesn't increase because someone praises you. And it doesn't decrease because someone criticizes you. Imagine a diamond lying in the mud. Does the mud reduce its value? No, it only hides its brilliance. Many people spend years trying to clean off the mud of other people's opinions, when they've been valuable all along. Your identity should never be built on applause, because applause disappears. Instead, build it on character, on integrity, on kindness, on courage. Those qualities stay with you no matter what anyone says. So whenever doubt enters your mind, repeat this slowly. I alone hold the truth of who I am. Because no one has lived your life. No one has carried your burdens. And no one else gets to decide your worth. So friends, we've only explored 5 affirmations. Yet already a powerful pattern is beginning to appear. Real confidence doesn't come from outside validation. It begins with the conversations happening inside your own mind. But what if you could also remove guilt? Learn to ask for what you truly need. Feel happiness without apologizing for it. And finally, create balance instead of constantly living in survival mode? That's exactly what we'll discover next. So goodbye for today, Tom. More we will come with next 5 to discuss with you in detail. Till then, keep your support with us through your likes, comments, and subscribe. Goodbye and have a good day.